One of the things that I don't like about Christianity is that the people in Christianity, they can't stand for you to call them out on their hypocrisy and stuff. You know what I mean? They don't like that. And I like the example in Matthew's 23, Matthew's chapter 23 in the Bible. You know what I mean? It actually points that out how when when God was dealing with the scribes and the Pharisees, they knew they was like masters in the law. You know, they knew the law. Um, they always like it's like they just think they are more righteous than other people. You know what I mean? They just do. But uh, anyway, religion. Think all this stuff about Thanksgiving. A lot of people, when you start telling people that you don't celebrate that stuff, I told a brother today, and I'm not against the brother, and that I was just speaking the truth. You know, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's like people turn into demons when you tell them that. You know what I mean? Um, what's that scripture in Matthew's? When you tell people the truth, when you tell them certain things, Matthew chapter 10, that I think that's where, no, not I think, I know where it says, let me quit playing. Um, that example is found in Matthew's 10. The example is found in Matthew's chapter 10 and verse 33. I mean, it's not 33, but 34. Think not that okay, I can read that. Think not that I've come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. He didn't come to send no peace on this planet. Verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter in law against her mother in law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. I was talking with a guy today, bro, and I was telling him that I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. And it's like we grew up and we went to church, bro. I'm not against the brother now. That I want people to know that this is not a slander. This is none of that. You know, this is just me. I just wanted to just bring some information and bring some awareness. I wasn't trying to offend nobody by telling them the truth. I care about my people. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to get no misunderstanding. If you ever get this video, if anybody ever get this video, I'm not against them. It's just that sometimes we stumble and sometimes we grow up and we learn. You know what I mean? That's how we learn. There's the purpose of having good and the purpose of bad. So for us to learn from the good, you know what I'm saying? But our people just, and the reason why, let me give a perfect example. I really wanted to try to show that to them, but some people is not really ready for certain. That I see why he said, what that scripture at? It's a perfect example. This is a perfect scripture. Everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the words of knowledge, or something like that, I think. Yeah. Hebrews 5 and 13. Yeah, it's like people turn into demons when you speak the truth. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people going to accept, some going to reject. So I just say, well, damn. I said, no, I wasn't trying to offend nobody, but sometimes people will get offended because they don't want the truth hurts a lot of times. Well, no, I can't say the truth hurt. I say it hurts them when they don't want to follow it. Matthew's chapter. I mean, not Matthew. I'm tripping, bro. I'm tripping. I'm on some other. No, I'm not. I'm just using that as an example. Hebrews 5 and 13. It said, "For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth unto them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil." Let's read this again. Verse 13, Hebrews 5 and 13. "For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the words of knowledge. In the words of righteousness." The milk represents the law, man. That's that. Yeah, that's what that milk represents. The milk is the law. That's why it says everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the words of knowledge. And then it goes on to say, but strong meat belongs unto them that is of full age, even of those who by reason of use have their exercise have their cess exercising to discern both good and evil. It says, "For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the words of righteousness, for he is a babe." That's what's wrong with a lot of people. When you try to share things with people, a lot of people it's just certain things people are not ready for. When you start talking about the doctrines of Esau, people get fighting mad. And you know the thing about that is Esau, the so-called white man, they know that a lot of our people that they forefathers programmed them like that. They know that a lot of our people gonna take and turn around and go and buy a lot of the turkey and all that type of stuff, stuff making dressing and all that kind of stuff, and not even understand what it all represents. You know what I'm saying? Um, how did Thanksgiving come about? Hold on. How did Thanksgiving come about? Yeah, man. That's how they celebrated the birth of America. Yep. New England and Virginia colonies originally celebrated the days of Thanksgiving, thanking of God for blessings. Now they want to throw God in it. God ain't got to do no thing with none of that. As harvest, ship land land landage, military. Oops, I made a mistake in the the core of the group called the Pilgrims were brought together around 605 when they quit the Church of England to from the Superateless congregation in the Nether England led by John Robinson, Richard. Yeah. So yeah, man, people this is what our people are trying to celebrate, you know what I mean? And when you try to open their eyes up, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to open our people's eyes up. I'm not an enemy to you. Why would I, even though I grew up and I couldn't even read or write, but I had to have my family members to teach me. You see what I'm saying? Why, how could that be your enemy? A person that's trying to warn you and blowing a trumpet and doing everything they can and have a passion to tell you, that person is not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. Why would I be? I mean, I'm sitting up trying doing the best I can to warn my people, bro. You know, the Native Americans were slaughtered by the Europeans, over 77 million. The European slaughter of Native Americans changed the climate studies. Okay, let's look the genocide of indigenous people, the Wikipedia. The genocide of indigenous people is the mass destruction of entire communities of the indigenous people. Indigenous people are understood to be, oh, hold on, understood to be people whose historical and current territory has became occupied by colon expenses or the format of a state by a dominant group such as the colon period. While the concept of genocide was formulated by Rapper and in the mid 20th century, the expenses of various European colon powers, such as the British and the Spanish Empire, and subsequent establishment of colonies on indigenous territory, frequently involving acts of genocidal violence against the indigenous group in the American, Australia, Africa, and Asia, according to colonization, was in itself intrinsically genocide. He saw this genocide as two of the stage process. The first being the destruction of the indigenous population's way of life in the second stage, and the newcomers impose their way of life on the indigenous group. According to David Mayberry Lewis, imperial and colon forms of genocide are enacted in main in two main ways, either through the celebrating clear of territories of their original inhabitation in order to make them exploitable for proposing of resources and extraction, or colon statements are thought enlisted indigenous peoples as forced laborers in colon are imperious. Okay, I guess that's right. Hold on. The project of resource extracts the designation of the designating specific events as genocidal is often controversial. Okay, I mean, it's interesting when you look at it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk a little bit more. I'm gonna see how this came out. So far, this was talking about the genocide. You know what I'm saying? So what is genocide?
Here's the definition of genocide: the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group.
That's why you celebrate Thanksgiving. When you celebrate so-called Thanksgiving, you celebrating the murder and the killing of your people. So why would you celebrate something that remind you of them hanging your grandpa, your grandmother? You know, why would you want to celebrate something that remind you of? Would you wear something? You wouldn't wear no cross around your neck if a person took and killed your grandson or your granddaughter, and you wouldn't take and wear that around your neck as a reminder, would you? You would feel some type of way. You know what I mean? It'll piss you off. you will feel some type of way. And if you sit up and you say, if you sit up and you say that you don't feel no type of way, then something is seriously wrong with you. Let me start up another because I got to see how this here